Hey everybody, it's SmallgGay. Drugs, alcohol. I was talking with my good friend Charles Weinkoff, who's such a brilliant guy and such a sweet guy. You should read his all of his blogs that he does for Big Hollywood. They're sensational. And we were talking about being sober. He didn't know that I was sober. And I am sober, and I got a lot of issues with all these people that casually want to legalize drugs. I don't know if they remember something called the 1960s. I know I do, and even though I was just a little child, I can remember, people in my circle, kids from the local high school, climbing on top of TV antennas and climbing on top of rocks or climbing out the window. They have no idea, this younger generation, what a drugged out society could really mean. As bad as it is now, it's nothing like it was in the 60s. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it is. I don't know. It's certainly a crack house, but, in the 60s, people were doing really, really weird, destructive things. And, my own problem with drugs and alcohol, first of all, I should say I was just a pothead. I wasn't a crackhead or a heroin addict or anything, but pot is bad enough, and now they want, legalized marijuana, and I know that, like, all my libertarian friends will be like, well, it should be legalized. I don't know. Again, I think Sarah Palin has the answer. Maybe decriminalized would be the answer rather than legalized. I don't think we need any more potheads in this country. I don't think there's a shortage of potheads. I went to Marijuana Anonymous, and it was actually better for me than Alcoholics Anonymous because it was the only place I could find where anyone was willing to say anything negative about marijuana. How about the fact that it turned me into an emotional cripple for almost 20 years, and you want to know the reason why I am where I am, which, I'm proud of where I am. I've hung in there, I've survived, but, I was a very promising young person until I got involved with drugs and alcohol. I could have really been a contender. But seriously, I could have. It slowed me down immeasurably. It slowed me down by 20 years of development. And to just casually say you want that legalized, and I have real serious problems with that, And again, I just drank a lot of beer, which is another issue. The alcohol companies being in bed with the gay and lesbian community. I'm getting a little tired of the gay and lesbian community just wringing their hands. They'll take some stand. Remember when they took that stand about crystal meth? Like, that's our problem. Our problem is beer. You can't go to a single gay or lesbian, bisexual, transgender, two-spirit, differently abled, indigenous American, identified, same-sex lover, whatever you want to call it, community. You can't go to any one of those, even a center dance, where people aren't, pardon my French, I faced. You can't go to anything without people being really, really just fall down drunk if you're gay. This is a community of addicts. And every year the Gay Pride March is sponsored by these people. All of the big gay events are sponsored by these people, and it's just promoting alcohol abuse in the gay community. And then they're on to something else, and then they get into the crystal meth or whatever's the next step for them. We've really got to clean up our act, I think, as gay people, and as a culture. I don't think the answer is more tolerance for drugs. I'm sorry. And again, Palin makes sense. She's talking about decriminalizing so that our police resources are better used on other things like maybe terrorism, which makes sense intellectually. But even then, I'm a little worried. I think that to too many people, drugs are an abstract ideal. It's like, oh, we should have the freedom to have drugs. Well, maybe. I'm still not convinced. Am I old-fashioned? Yeah. Thanks.